The landscapes of our lives are for learning, where experience is our teacher. When we gather together to share our resources, we are destined to love and thrive.
Good morning, Pierre.
Hey, good morning, Maureen.
What we talking about today?
We're talking about you're opening up a new office, a studio, and getting into a place to do your therapy life coaching work. And it sounds awesome. You want to tell me, because this is new. You're in your office for the first time. You like, give me the rundown. Where is it? What's it called? What are you doing? This is so cool.
Yeah, thank you. It is I just talked to my new studio owner. That I'm at the yoga studio, Bikram Yoga Danvers, where I started practicing and then later teaching Bikram yoga. And I grew up in this community, and it's
So
right
it's
down the
called
street from
Bikram.
where I grew up.
Oh, that's cool. This is amazing. I didn't know this. I'm learning. So the studio is called Bikram Yoga Danvers.
Yes, at the moment. But
Okay.
the new owner is going to change the name to Studio Y, to expand to include some other fitness classes. But Bikram Yoga will remain Bikram Yoga and not changed, and not 26 and 2 or any of the other crazy stuff that people do to Bikram yoga. That will be the staple and the mainstay. We
Right.
also offer yin yoga, inferno hot Pilates, and some other classes. So anyways, yeah, James just bought the studio recently from the former owner, and I've just been teaching a couple of classes a week for him. And there's this space at the studio that's kind of not been used, and I thought, can we do a wellness resource center in there? And he was like, yeah, I'd love that. And so
Boom.
so I'm really grateful and appreciative that he's on board with it and loves the idea.
Right. So a wellness resource center. So instead of it being in this virtual space that we've created in learning conversation, you've got a real place in a real studio where people
Yeah.
come for yoga and other different health modalities. And now they're going to be able to, you know, talk to you and get more information. How are you going to operate this wellness resource center at the studio?
Yeah, it's really just a space
Mm-hmm.
where people can come in and get access to resources, whether that's the books on the bookshelf, or me as a resource, and other people. I feel like the members at the studio are resources too. We're all resources for each other. But
Mm-hmm.
people come in. There's been people coming in, the same people for years, but the chit chat, they pass each other. We do the class. There's not a lot of time to really kind of connect and engage. So we
Right.
wanted to have a space to invite that, to
Mhm.
build community. And also, just because I'm a wellness resource, have wellness resources available. So I'll do lifestyle assessment and consultations. I'll arrange like monthly themes. Like February is going to be love and connection. And there'll
Mhm.
be challenges to do, that can, try to connect people more.
Mhm.
I'll have an event where people will come in and after class and have fruit and tea and sit and talk and kind of just get to know the space, and just an area so people can engage socially
Mhm.
with each other and get to know each other better.
You know,
um, and then do workshops and pop-up
right,
classes. Yeah.
right. It's interesting, Maureen. That sounds that sounds really, really awesome. When I would go into yoga studios, and we've all traveled many yoga studios,
Hmm.
I would always like the ones, and I'm a book person like you, the
Mm.
ones that had a little library shelf. It could have been seven books,
Yeah.
but it's just really great. And the other
Yeah.
thing that strikes me about what you were saying, and I just want to compliment you and wish you well on this real space, is that the yoga studios that were successful, and had that energy and vibe. There was this big social thing happening after class and
Hmm.
sometimes before class. And um and people were enjoying everything. Then they went into class and they worked. But it wasn't like a, I don't know, like I've been into some, smallish gyms or something like that. And people just come in and they,
Do their
cycle
workout and
and they
leave.
leave. Right,
Yeah.
right.
Got their
No.
headphones in and yeah, you're in your
Yeah,
own world.
they're not even there. They're there for
Yeah.
themselves. All great. But
Yeah.
the real, so this is now a place for that to happen, and you're fostering it, and you're doing that. Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I went into mental health because of what I learned from yoga. There's just so many parallels to um, how yoga is therapeutic, and so I'm just fusing the two. It's always been my kind of plan all along
TA. Yeah.
was to have something here, and I think talking to you all these years, yeah, the website's good and everything, but it's virtual. And if I'm trying to build social connection, which is what people sorely need,
Right.
face to face contact, hearing voices, um, really being among people, especially after COVID, I think it's what everybody's craving. So I see this as almost community health, but it
Right.
happens to be in a yoga studio. And
Right.
then, yeah, I'll do some coaching and counseling out of here as quote unquote my local office.
So
But
cool.
it will be so good to be able to bring people, my clients into the studio. People, people, especially people suffering with trauma and need to be in a safe community and
Hmm.
expose themselves to people gradually, with,
Hmm.
support,
Hmm.
to retune their nervous system and get them healthy and
Yeah.
regulated. So that's one of my goals too, is to kind of make it really community mental health,
Yeah.
and a yoga fitness place.
We do, we do this virtual stuff, but it all came out of a physical practice. We both went and did a bunch of yoga and ended up at teacher training together. And, you know, uh, it, a lot of that regulation and community all happens because you have a real life embodied experience in a yoga practice.
Right.
And we're just trying to support that in so many ways. I'm so happy that you're supporting it in a real way. So the new owner is James, and can we talk to him sometime and kind of get his take on stuff?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. He will do a podcast with James. He's awesome, and yeah, to learn more about the community. But I'm just really psyched that it's in my hometown. It's where I grew up, where my kids grew up. And I was gonna say, the embodiment piece. I'm glad you brought that up quickly. You and I both athletes our whole lives and movers, but not not until I did the yoga in a real connection to my body as, I guess, a holistic system. Like,
Well,
we used our bodies to be athletes, to get somewhere and to do things but not really to connect inward and be our bodies and
I'm
then
I'm
among other people.
I'm sitting here smiling and laughing quietly to let Maureen talk, but you're so right on. And where do we end up? We end up in yoga. And what does yoga mean? Union.
Union.
So
Yeah.
we're doing all these other movement things all our life too, because it's kind of what we're drawn to. And
Yeah.
then we get to yoga and it's the union between mind and body and balancing things. And suddenly the whole thing just snaps into place and you
Yeah.
realize, oh, I've been playing tennis and mindlessly hitting a ball. uh, I can't even tell you how many millions of tennis balls and against a wall or anywhere, it doesn't matter. And then, you get into yoga and you find out, oh, life as a human, we're, I don't want to say requires, but is this balance between physical and mental. And it's a beautiful
Yeah.
world.
I think it's a more conscious connection with body, self, being. It's not
Yes.
for the sake of being a body, not for any other reason. It's just like, I'm here now, I'm a body. And in connecting with that, as opposed to I'm going to use my body for some other aim, which is fine too. And that's play and cooperative and it's all good. But it just
Yeah.
kind of ironic, right? That we were both very physical people, but
Yeah.
not in the sense of like the yogi thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
And you don't have to be. I mean, there are a lot of very quiet and non-athletic people at
Oh,
yoga.
100%. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 But I'm so excited for you and for this space that you've created, wellness center at the Bikram Yoga Danvers,
Yeah.
and
Soon to be Studio Y. Yes.
Studio Y,
Yeah.
and talking to James, and
In
actually it's,
person. In person. It's the best part. It's like in person, person to
yeah,
person. I'm so glad I'm doing something local and not just virtual. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, yeah, we have this podcast and I love this too, but I really think it's so important to be in person with people. I really think it's what people are needing so badly post
right.
pandemic. Yeah.
I love the fact that your practice as a therapist is going to be launched, or a part of it is going to be this wellness center, because
Mm,
a lot of therapists, oh, I'm going to go into the doctor's office, or you go into a
a
little
private practice thing.
sliding door in somebody's back,
Oh, right. Yeah.
garage, or or they're more office oriented, and you go in an office building, and
Hush,
and
hush.
yeah, and this is just like, wow, okay. um this is very cool. Well, great,
Yeah.
thanks for sharing all of that, and let's make sure we update this podcast with how 6 months later, how's this
Yeah.
going?
How's it going? Yeah.
Yeah.
Things I've
Well,
learned from it being disastrous at first. Sure. Yeah.
hey,
Trial and error.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. Thanks for sharing. I am so happy for you. And we're talking in a little different mode now, because you're talking from your new office. So cool.
Yeah. It's good to have a place to be. Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Well,
All right.
good. Well, look forward to when we talk with James, and more on this. And I'm Pierre from Yoga Heals.
And Maureen, landscapes for learning.
Can I do
Learn
your
to go ahead.
Can you learn? See, this is so cool. I like it. Learn to live and live to learn.
Peace through grace. Peace through grace.